Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is TJ Jones, and welcome to episode number 2 of the Therapy Couch podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everybody that's watching this show live. Rather you're watching on any platform, the State of the Saints, Crescent City connection. We are going live as well on the Therapy Couch YouTube page. Now, I'm asking everybody, if you have not already, to please subscribe to the channel, youtube.com, search Therapy Couch Podcast. Asking if somebody is available to put that link in the description for me. I didn't do it, and I do apologize for that. This is a show that focuses on things like anxiety, depression, different situations that people may be going through in life. I understand that State of the Saints is a sports page. I've dedicated to the Saints podcast, of course, but I won't be addressing any questions in regards to sports on this show. Title of the show, I put, "I can't take this ish no more." Um, normally in life, if you live long enough, I ain't talking about some of you young folk, but I'm pretty sure at one time or another, you put your hands up in the sky and was like, "Man, I can't take this ish no more." Like, rather it's something that happened to you, on that particular day at that particular moment, or it's just a collage of things that happen in order for you to get to this point. If you look at the profile, you may see a picture of a house, or a trailer, whatever you want to call it. But that was the first uh, house that I moved into when I moved to South Carolina. And that house right there was the beginning, and it could have easily been an end of me. Um, the reason why I moved to South Carolina was because I did have a job opportunity. I was a store manager in a little small rural town called Rolling Fork, Mississippi. It's probably maybe about 30, 45 minutes from Vicksburg, probably less than that. Depends on how you drive. But I had an opportunity to move from Mississippi to South Carolina with my job. Now, I ended up taking that position, but I don't think I would have took it if I was in the state that I was in at the particular time. I was coming off like one of the like worst breakups that you can ever have in your entire life. Um, it was somebody I was with for a very long time, and it just didn't pan out, man. I found out some things I ain't like, and man, it cut me really deep. You know what I'm saying? I was like really depressed. I was angry, and when at the time when I was staying in Mississippi, I was going in a certain direction, man. I mean, a lot of people may not know this, but I was going to the seminary. At the time, I was basically working on trying to become a theologian. Um, Man, in my family, I was like really close to them, but when all of that happened to me, I completely shut down. Like I completely shut down because I was just so angry, and man, I was just so depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like I just needed to get away from everything. And when the opportunity presented itself, I mean, I end up leaving, packing up everything that I had because at the time I was staying with my mom. I packed up everything that I had and I put it in this U-Haul. And the company allowed me to, rent a U-Haul and also get a trailer. Yeah, I can hitch my car on the back too. And the little rags that I had, I ended up moving to South Carolina. I ended up like getting a house for rent. That's a funny story. Um, I didn't know anything about South Carolina at all. The job allowed me to come down before I can actually make the decision. So I ended up traveling the 11 and a half, 12 hours that it took to get down here. And I was looking for a house, and all of a sudden, man, I found this house on Craigslist. Don't ever let anybody tell you you can't find something on Craigslist. I mean, they got some scammers out there, but I was lucky, you know what I'm saying? Because where they actually asked me to work at, it was like a little rural town in itself. So I ended up finding this house on Craigslist and I called the guy. I laugh about it now. But I was like, yeah, I'm moving. I got a job opportunity and I'm looking to move into a house. And he was like, yeah, he said it's a nice little, trail out there, wide open space. He said, the only problem is, he said, I gotta tell you that somebody died in a house. Like, so it turns out if you ever like look up like an article, a woman actually murdered her husband. And a murder was happened in that house. But that goes to show you what my mind was. Like I didn't care at the time. I'm like, man, let me get the heck up out of here. So I ended up like getting a house. The shouts out to the guy. I mean, he was really nice and considerate. He allowed me to even move my stuff into the house before I even gave him like the full payment. So shouts out to him. But I ended up like just getting out here and I was just downright depressed. And I remember like I was going to work, I was coming from work, and like I said, I was staying in like a rural area. There was nothing out here, just wide open space and trees. And it was like every single day, I'm not gonna lie to you, every single day, I was hoping that I wake up with the courage to to end my life. Like that's what my mind was. Like I was like trying to develop the courage. Like I would go into the restroom of the job that I was in, and I would just stand in there and I would look at myself in the mirror and trying to muster up enough strength to do it. And I remember like one night, um, I'll never forget this. I was in the room that I was in. Like I said, man, this house, like this little or the trailer rather, had about two or three rooms, but I was in a room and I remember I was like sitting in the bed and I got out the bed and I ended up like going to the kitchen and and I got a butcher knife. And I remember where I was laying at, the moon was like coming into like the house. You know what I mean, and I can remember like as if like the moon was like light was shining on my wrist, and I was like praying and like, man, let me just get it over with tears in my eyes. Um, I didn't have a love for anything at the time. I didn't even love myself. Um, I guess I did at that particular time and didn't know it, but I just felt like I just wanted it all to end, like all the pain. I had no interest in anything. The thing that I loved most was what I'm doing right now, which was broadcasting and podcasting. Now, I didn't care if I ever did that again. I just felt like I would just walking around just completely empty. But with tears in my eyes, it was something that was inside of me that just clicked and said, it's not worth doing. Like it's not like worth doing. Like if I really wanted to do this, I wouldn't have had something inside of me that would have been fighting me to not do this. So of course I didn't go through with it. Um, and I'm glad I didn't, because it's like a lot of things in my entire life that I was going through at the time. It was everything that was bringing me like was trying to make me whole. How I ended up like working in broadcasting. This is a true story. I was it was around Christmas time, and my assistant or my coworker, we were putting up some Bluetooth speakers, and the Bluetooth speakers had the capability of playing local radio stations. And I remember like she put a station on, and I liked the music, and I was like, I said that's a nice station. I said, what's the name of that station? And she told me, she said it was 90.9 FM. And I ended up I don't know why, man, but I ended up calling them. I was like, man, that got to be like some type of sign. I said, I mean, I tried to get back into it. And so I called the station program guy. Shouts out to Mr. Ernie. And I called them and I asked them, I said, did y'all need anybody at the radio station? At the time, I was just trying to get into it. And I didn't really care about money. I was, working as a manager at the time. So, I mean, I was okay when it came to finances. And, he was like, yeah, he's like, if you want to come over to the station and talk, that's fine. And I'll never forget this. I went to the station from the job. And at the time, I didn't know where anything was. So I was still using GPS to get around. So I ended up putting the station in the GPS, and I ended up going there and getting interviewed and talking to them. And of course, they gave me a chance to say, if you want to volunteer, we got some things we need you to do around here. That'd be fine. So finally I left, and I was like, okay, it's time to go home. So I put my address in a GPS, and it turns out that I live 5 minutes away from that radio station. There's not a lot of things in my life that I'm sure of, but I was destined to do what I'm doing right now. There's no doubt about that. And you know what I'm saying? As time went on, months went by, I started to like really get involved in like, my job and the people that I was working with at the time. I mean, they embraced me. They showed me like so much love. They called me, made sure I needed anything. Heck, they even bought me a dog, what I'm saying? Like for company. My dog Wilson at the time. They really like put their arms around me and embraced me, and they knew, some of the things I was going through, because over the course of time, we developed a family and, relationship, and I told them. And things were just starting to work out, and that's when I felt like I was whole enough. I was like at a really good spot, and that was during the time where, I ended up meeting my wife. And it was like all these things just started to happen and started to come into my life. And I just sometimes I go back to that moment when I was in that bed and that moon was down on my wrist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think about like, what if I would end up doing this? Like, what if I would have took that route? You know, I wouldn't have had my wife, I wouldn't have had my son, I wouldn't be where I am right now as far as radio and podcasting. And I say that to say this, and I'll go to the comments from here. But sometimes you have to be broken down in order for you to build yourself back up, for you to have an appreciation for your life. Like sometimes it takes you to be at your lowest, because I never thought in a million years I would be in this spot ever again, because I felt like I was done with it. But in the process, I was able to rediscover myself in a whole new love for what I'm doing, and made me feel that yes, this is what I need to do. So somebody right here might be thinking about giving up. Somebody might be thinking about throwing in a towel, thinking about, man, they probably even have some of these thoughts that I had in my mind at the time, but it is not worth it. There are special qualities. There are some special qualities about you. You probably have not discovered those qualities just yet, but they exist. And it's a matter of you to try to find it, to take the time and opportunity to rediscover the love that you have for maybe something that you may have been holding on to, or something that you have out there, but you feel like, I don't know if it's mine. It's time to rediscover yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it may not happen overnight. It may not happen overnight, but find that appreciation. Find that appreciation for that thing that makes you who you are, and appreciate the trials at times, because as dark as those days were, it helped me. It helped me to appreciate the love that I have for my wife, the love that I have for my family, hell, the love that I have for me. Like it's as dark as it was, I appreciate that time, because it made me find the love that I needed in order for me to survive and live life to the fullest. Um, so that I just wanted to share that story, and I just want to let you know, whatever you're going through, I mean, it'll be just fine. Always, try to find ways to, make your life worth living. Every single day is a blessing to be alive. It's a blessing to have air. It's no matter what you're going through. Bills may be due, finances may not be where you want it to be at. Relationships may not be where you want it to be at. But every day that you wake up, it's an opportunity to be better than yesterday. I mean, today you had opportunity to be a greater you. Tomorrow, if you open your eyes, you have a opportunity to be even greater than today. So let's make the best of it. So appreciate everybody for being here. I'm gonna go to the comments. Feel free to chime in. We'll take it from there. I start at the top. Okay, I'll start with Chief says, I feel you. I let everything to leave New Orleans to live in Phoenix with my life. I mean, my wife. I say with my life. With my wife. Yeah, man. Look, that's a positive thing. I don't know exactly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with like leaving familiar territory. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like sometimes you have to do that in order for you to grow at times. I just feel like sometimes your family can be enablers, your friends can be enablers. Familiar territory can make you kind of complacent. I like a challenge every now and then. I think sometimes it's good to get away just to try to figure out some things, maybe what you're made of. You ain't necessarily gotta leave, but sometimes you have to get away from familiar territory in order for you to fly. Because sometimes the people that that are around you only see you for one particular way, and they their opinions and views mean a lot to you. You know what I'm saying? So if you like, man, I'm thinking about starting this, and they may put a little nugget in your ear that make you reluctant, but what do you have if you're all by yourself? It's just you, right? And so survival tactics start to come in. So sometimes that can be a good thing. TJ, I'm going through a case of serious landlord harassment. Can you point me a few people to my channel where I'm documenting it? Well, you can go ahead, Josh. Put your link to your channel inside of the chat. You know what I'm saying? And y'all make sure that y'all support them. To see what's going on with that, man. Make sure you put your link down there so everybody can know where they can find you. Says, where's the super chat button? The super chat button, because the channel of Therapy Couch is so new, they don't have a super chat option for that one. You have to probably be on the State of the Saints in order for you to use super chat. But I'm not really concerned about that. To be honest with you, for this channel. But yeah, I mean, it's a new channel, and you have to have so many subscribers in order for you to activate super chat. And this channel is new, so won't don't have that option there if you looking at it on the Therapy Couch. Oh snap, I didn't know I walked into something. Oh, this sorry TJ, my stuff can wait. Yeah, man, it's a Therapy Couch podcast. I was some people, like I said, I'm doing this live on the State of the Saints, so some people probably think that we're talking about sports, but we're not. I'm just going live on that channel because there's some people that may not know about this channel just yet. So that's why I'm encouraging people, if you just so happen to watch it, you can go over to the Therapy Couch podcast channel and check it out there. That's the difference with me. Sometimes I get yelled at and I have a bad habit of going somewhere and cry. Well, look, we have to learn how to kind of compartmentalize our feelings at times. I'm like that too. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of an emotional person, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, I can feel emotionally attacked at times, sometimes I can take things the wrong way. That's why I gotta kind of step back and, let logic sink in, like, is this worth being mad about? I haven't reached like perfection of that just yet. I mean, I'm just be honest with you. It takes a lot of practice and it takes knowledge of self too, and to think about like, is this worth me getting upset about? Is this worth me going ham, like, losing my freaking mind about, so yeah. And if you think about it, like really, really think about it, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So it's just some practices you have to work on. And one thing that that kind of helps me are breathing exercises. I don't know if anybody has tried these, but it's called mindfulness meditation. You can find like some of the practices like on YouTube channels. You can find like a room where you can work on your breathing. Exercise is another thing that I've been using quite often as of late. Those type of things kind of help you, but mindfulness meditation, it really helps. It helps with your breathing. um it helps you collect your thoughts. And I think it's a big help. So if you have a chance, check out something called mindfulness meditations. There are like plenty of videos about that. And also, I'll get into this a little bit later. Another key point that I want to make, and a suggestion I want to give to some people. 985 says, "What a testimony, bro. I'm glad God gave you the strength to overcome that depression and suicidal thoughts." Yeah, me too, man. Me too. It's tough to talk about, man, because anytime you start talking about stuff like that, you wonder like how people will see you or how it's be perceived. But I'm at this particular point. I'm so you know happy about my life, and the way things are going, and how far I came as a person. This was a tough topic to talk about, but I'm willing to share that if it means to help somebody else. If it can help somebody else, because I think sometimes uh we have this perception of an individual, like they doing this or doing that, but that does not mean that that person don't have problems. That don't mean that that person uh doesn't go through situations. And we're all human. I don't care where you are in the world. I don't care what you're doing. I mean, we all breathe the same air. We all have like this. I mean, we all do the same things at the end of the day, despite what tax bracket you in, despite what color you are. You know what I'm saying? Like we all, deal with issues, and we're all human. And I'm a good person, but sometimes I'm not perfect. I just love to have fun. Hey, look, there's nothing wrong with that. Nobody's perfect, man. I mean, like I look back sometimes, and I see myself getting upset, or saying something I shouldn't have said, feel terrible about it. I mean, but that's the part about being human. But also for you to have an acknowledgement of the things that you're actually dealing with, or the problems that you feel like you need to address, that's the first step. I mean, you look at Alcohol Anonymous, they tell you the first step, in a 12-step program is to admit you have a problem. If you can admit you have a problem, then, I'm saying, other steps you should be able to gradually take. I think the biggest issue is when people feel like, oh, it's always them. I always look at with people when they say, man, they did this, they did that. And especially like when it's the same issues. Like sometimes you got to look at yourself, some of the steps that you're taking, like especially when it comes to like relationship stuff. Some people, like, they go through the same situation because they end up dating the same type of person, or they end up like being around the same type of person, or they haven't even acknowledged themselves. So no matter who they get with, that person can be a perfect person for them, but if they haven't addressed their stuff, then you're going to go through the same problem. I think that's absolutely insane. Like, for you not to, I don't care if the relationship ended and it wasn't your fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was on the other person. It's still an opportunity for you to kind of fix some things about yourself in order for you to be better for the next relationship. Because sometimes when you don't do nothing, that's when things can affect you the most. And then you end up like finding yourself possibly taking it out on the next person, taking it out on your friends. So admitting that you have a problem, what I'm saying, and trying to address it is the first step in order for you to make a real change in your life. So I respect that. Bless everyone in the chat. What's going on, Chemo? Appreciate you for being here. He says, smash that like button. Yeah, if you enjoy the content, go ahead and hit the like button. I appreciate that. And my weakness is not listening, thinking I know, but I don't. Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes you have to be a listener. It's not easy at times, especially when you feel like you're knowledgeable about the situation. But I tell people all the time, you learn a lot about a person by not saying anything at all. You know, I think by join broadcasting, it kind of helped me to become a better listener because I'm still in that same boat. Sometimes when something happens and a person isn't seeing my point of view, I try to, okay, man, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, and I don't give that person the opportunity to try to explain. All right. Or, you know what I'm saying? I don't even try to listen to another person's idea if I feel like my idea is the best. Especially like when you're like in broadcasting. Sometimes you feel like, when you're like having those powwows, those meetings, and sometimes you're like, you know what? I think I have a good idea, but if they like, I don't know about that idea. Maybe we need to go in another direction. You kind of take it personal, but you got to kind of not do that because sometimes maybe the idea is a little bit better. But if you don't listen because you're kind of what like to call pseudo listening, when you're taking out key points and you're not listening into the entire conversation or the entire point, you might find yourself making irrational decisions and may cause yourself to be angry. So it's good to be an effective listener. I encourage people that may deal with that to just take the moment and just be quiet and listen to a person. Like next time, like you're talking to your wife, your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, or what have you, just when they're talking about their day or they're telling you about something that's important to them, and it may not even be that important to you, but it's important to them. And always remember that, like, no matter what the situation is, it may not be that important to you, and it may not be the matter of life and death, but to them at that particular time it's important, and it's okay for them to express themselves, right? Being an effective listener is almost as powerful as being an effective speaker. I think some people need to know that. Sometimes when people feel like they can't get their 2 cents in, then people, oh, they may think I'm dumb, or oh, they may think that I don't know what I'm talking about. Or, oh, they may think that they take my knowledge for granted. Blase, blase. But I tell people, being an effective listener is just as powerful as being an effective speaker. Good evening, everybody. Who that? Let's see. Don't make me get teary eyed. I apologize for that, but I mean, I'm just trying to share my story. Uh, you would have broken my heart. You are the best of my heart. I love you so much. Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, and you know, uh, yeah. I mean, but you go through those things as you know, and you learn from them. And I'm glad that everything worked out in the process. You're not going to remember till you transcend while resting the second time. I don't know exactly what we talk about there. You need to elaborate on that one, Elite. What do you mean by that one? Uh, I kind of understand, but I need you to elaborate. Crazy thing is, TJ, a lot of people think if you're successful, then you should have these kind of silent battles, man, as if success is a cure for all. Well, King Arthur, here's the thing. When you become successful, or you know what I'm saying, you reach a certain plateau, you become more paranoid because now you're basically at the mercy of people's opinions and views. You know what I'm saying? If you're not careful, you might end up like allowing those things to kind of, get into your mind and affect you and affect your life and affect the way you move. I mean, man, I used to look at the chat like religiously, like not like the chat here, but like conversations of like after I do shows and stuff. And I mean, I would get scared and mad or like really depressed. Even if, you know what I'm saying, like I know for a fact, okay, I did a show, everybody enjoyed it, it was great. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing all this positive stuff. It'll be that one person in there, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Shut up or whatever, and I just let it take it. I just take it to heart. Like that's why honestly, I look at comments very, very rare. No, you know what I'm saying? I don't because I don't need that type of trauma. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff like can kind of trigger anxiety and stuff like that. And you start to kind of put this invisible pressure on yourself. That's why I tell people, man, like get away from like social media at times. You know what I'm saying? When you find yourself like looking at it like so much to a point where you feel like the stuff that you're actually seeing is dictating how you move or how your mood is. Like rather it's that person you see that's taking that trip, or if you see that person got that new outfit on, or you know what I'm saying, you see that person seem like they happy, they smiling or whatever, and you feel like, man, what they happy about? Where they get the money for that? Man, it seems like everybody taking a trip of me. Man, it's time for you to, you know what I'm saying, wrap this thing up, you know what I'm saying, like put the cord up and go sit down. You know what I'm saying? And try to reestablish yourself. You know what I'm saying? Watch a movie, or you know what I'm saying, try to find something to occupy your time. Because like I said, man, that was something that I dealt with. And I'm talking about I would get upset and take it so personal, you know, but that's where love for yourself and knowledge of self comes in. Because you got to be able to resist that type of stuff, and also have like this appreciation for what you're doing, and knowing that you're giving it your all. And that would be the most important thing. That would be the most important thing. King Arthur, what's up, brother? Who's human? I am not a human being. No offense to the human beings. Well, that's good. That's good to know, man. If you're not a human being, if you have ascended into something much greater, I think we all trying to reach that point in life. You know what I'm saying? My kindness is my weakness. I'm 55 and I am better for loving myself. Yeah, like look, I think that people, this whole kindness for weakness thing, I think people take this thing. Look, there's nothing wrong with being kind. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being kind. There's nothing wrong with seeing the good in people. I always say this, like, man, I look at my son, and my son is 3 years old, and how he just, he goes to school, and my wife just sent pictures, you know what I'm saying, of him like throughout the day that the teacher sent to her. And you know what I'm saying? And these kids, you know what I'm saying, he goes to school with like all different, you know what I'm saying, colors and creeds. And these kids are just playing together, you know what I'm saying, having a good time, having fun. And I think about the climate and how some of the things that's going on in this world try to divide us, and how you know what I'm saying, some of these things are causing people to look at other races and other, you know what I'm saying, nationalities and genders differently. And you look at kids, man, they just playing. They just having fun. Like, because the only thing that they see is a friend. The only thing that they see is somebody that they can play with. I'm envious of a child's innocence. And also, I have a uncle who has special needs. And I'll just look at, him, and how he just sees the world completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like, from us. He knows what's going on, you know what I'm saying? He's functional, but he only sees like the good in people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's to a point, mom, who works with him, holds his hand, and you know what I'm saying, when they're going places and stuff like that, because I mean he's in his 50s, then it might, you know what I'm saying, people don't really know, but him just seeing the good in people. I always say, man, who is the real person with the problem? You know what I'm saying? Who's the person that needs to learn from the other person? Like, because if our minds was like that, you know what I'm saying, we can only see the good in people, how good would this world be? So I say this, man, ain't nothing wrong for, you know what I'm saying, being kind. I feel like it's a problem with individuals that look at a person that's kind and want to take advantage of that. But I don't feel like that should be a deal breaker. Be like, I ain't gonna be kind to anybody anymore. Like, I seen a story before I started this podcast about this guy who ended up getting shot and killed in Atlanta at a gas station at like 2 o'clock in the morning, because he was trying to intervene with a woman and a man who was having a fight. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to break it up, and the guy shot him, killed him. He was being a good Samaritan. And people was like, man, that's the reason why you don't want to help nobody. That's the reason why you don't want to step in. it's situations like that that can kind of prohibit people from wanting to do that. But I don't want individuals to lose sight that there are good people in this world, and you should have good qualities, and you should show love, and you should show respect. There's always going to be exceptions to the rule. And when you're on social media, I know we look at that and it makes the world smaller to us, but there's still good people in this world, and it's still doing good things, and you should never be ashamed or afraid or upset or even question being kind or showing kindness to individuals, because that's what the world is all about. Let's see. IBL says, "Thank TJ. I was thinking about quitting sending fart messages because no one responded no more, but you giving me the strength to keep going." Well, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. I myself am an emotional person. I always thought less of myself for being so, especially being a man. Uh, Ain't nothing wrong with being an emotional person either. I know as a man, they tell us, man, we supposed to be harder than trigonometry, right? We supposed to be tough. We supposed to walk around here and we supposed to be the undisputed, undeniable champion of our family, and we don't supposed to show no level of emotion. Man, forget all that. The greatest thing you can do is show emotion. Like, I ain't trying to fake or be phony for anybody. You know, I love my family, whatever fiber my being. You know what I'm saying? you know, I love my family with a passion. You know what I'm saying? Like, if me and my wife are having like a disagreement or something like that, like, it hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Because I love this woman so much. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure she feels the same way. I mean, if what I'm saying, my son, what I'm saying, he does something, or he says, "Daddy, give me a hug," or something like that, or what I'm saying, like at night, if we're laying in the bed, he wanted me to read him a story or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind showing those levels of vulnerability because it's okay. You know, I don't care what the world is trying to tell us what we need to be. I don't care what people are saying that we need to be, but there's nothing wrong with being emotional and having a level of passion for the things that you care about. I think there's a problem with individuals that don't want to show, saying show any type of sympathy or empathy or emotion or anything like that. Because why would you want to live in a world like that? Why would you want to be in a relationship where people look down on you for showing that level of emotion? Well, what would you like for me to do? Not care about your feelings? Not want to put a smile on your face? Like, well, what do you want me to do? So you should never be apologetic for that, for being who you are. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. I think those are some of the bravest people in the world when you can, show that level of emotion. I mean, I think that it makes you better off. Forget what people say about that when it comes to emotion. That's a good question. Elite Goods. Let me see what his question was. Let's see. Who gives us emotions? I'm just asking a question for a friend. Um, I think society gives us emotions. You know, I think by like your upbringing, the things that's within your environment, it gives us like this. Like, man, our minds are basically like, we're computers, right? So it's like the things that you see, the things that you witness, uh, the books that you read, the stories that you tell, it tells us what we need to do, what we, what I'm saying, how we need to react to certain situations. So that's why, what I'm saying, it's almost like, if you're looking at a sketch art or something like that, or what I'm saying, like some of those art where you got the splashes and stuff like that, and you'd be like, tell me what you see. I mean, I guess it's abstract if you want to be honest. It depends on, how you look at things. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think emotion is given to us by our environment and the things that we just grow up seeing and how we are developed. You know, I think that's what it is. Because I mean, I think emotions are looked at in different ways when it comes to different people. So let's see. Journaling is a good also. It helps you to see your thoughts in black and white. It helps you release in the moment. Yeah, I mean, my mom, I mean, she is a portrait writer and she writes stories as well. And she's done that my entire life. I think writing is important, and be able to write down your feelings. I also think that you need like whatever it may be, rather it is journaling, rather it is drawing or something like that. I think everybody needs an outlet, something that's theirs. My mom often says, you gotta have something that belong to you. Even if you spend all your money paying bills, at least buy a candy bar for yourself. You know what I'm saying? At least like, okay, man, I bought this Snicker bar. It was mine. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed the Snicker bar. You know what I'm saying? The nougat hit the spot. Like something that belongs to you. Like you should never neglect yourself. You got to find some outlet, you know what I'm saying, that you can call your own. So remember that. Crazy thing is, TJ, a lot of people think, oh, I think I already read that one. Let's go scroll down a little bit. I tried to go back up to read a couple of comments. Josh says, not for me. I already know everything I need to know. You can learn something from me. Look, I think that we all got something to learn, man. If you think if you got this world all figured out, man, might as well just ascend. I mean, there's always some things that you can learn about yourself that can make you better. That you can grow from. I just think that we should never like. That's you good. You feel that way, but you should. If you feel that way, then you should always try to find another way to reestablish yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like redesign yourself, because you know, sometimes we feel like we know everything or we feel like we got it figured out because we traveled that road so many times. Like when you first move into a house, right? Some of y'all probably know what I'm talking about. For those that may have moved in a different place, you be like, man, where the light switch at? Where the light switch? Where the light switch at? You know what I'm saying? You looking around, you flicking lights, you flick on it, go in the other room, you flick on, it's going in the you know what I'm saying, the front light, and click it again, and turn on the light. But live in that house for like a year, right? You can close your eyes and walk 3, 4, 5 paces and turn to the left and slip the light switch off. You know what I'm saying? The house can be pitch black, or you can, close your eyes. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because you're familiar with your surroundings. Because over time, it become, it become a part of the norm. So sometimes we feel like we have those things figured out because, like I said, we know the roads. You know what I'm saying? We know where the light switches are. So sometimes it's you gotta like step out of those familiar surroundings and familiar territories in order for you to reestablish some things. You might have a love for something that you haven't even discovered just yet because you haven't given it a chance, because once again, you might feel like you got everything figured out. How much, what I'm saying? What about something that you can feel like you fall in love with, or something that you haven't, what I'm saying, like partaken in, right? There's always something that you can find new about you, and also from other people. You can learn and grow from others. I mean, take on challenges that you haven't taken on yet. Do something that's unconventional, something that you might find yourself, like I said, falling in love with. uh I was considered the I was considered the strong one of my so-called siblings by my parents. They treated me like I didn't need them. That still aches. Sometimes, sometimes that can happen. I think parents at times, um, they try to they love all their kids, but I feel like they cling on, or they try to like nurture the ones that feel like they need the most work. Like like, okay, if you have some light bulbs in the house, right? All of them bright, and then you got that one over there that's kind of dim. Maybe something wrong with the electrical panel. Maybe something wrong with the wiring or something. You might pay a little bit more attention to that one, right? Man, what is wrong with this thing? Let me fix it. Sometimes like, if it may not feel that way, but maybe that was their way of giving you the stamp of approval. Maybe it was their way of like, oh, they don't they you know what I'm saying, they don't need me like that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be all right. Sometimes that can be a badge of honor, but sometimes that can hurt. I've heard people say like, man, man, I ain't really get that hug. I ain't really get that pat on the back and all that kind of stuff. And and I'd be like, you had this conversation with your parent? Nah, man, I ain't even worried about it, man. I know they don't care. Sometimes they don't know. Sometimes they probably just think, okay, man, they know I care about them. They know I love them, man. They strong. So, I'm not, worried about them. And maybe it's taken the wrong way. So sometimes like we gotta express ourselves and let, our parents know, our siblings know, our friends know, how we feel about a situation. Because sometimes, we can be bottling stuff up and inside and we're hurting because of it. Not the person, but we are. So, but I think that sometimes when it comes to like kids, I think parents kind of cling on to the ones that need the work, that have the work, that are works in progress. Always remember that you count too. Yeah, you got to remember that. Got to remember that you count. Uh, that's the LL playing blind man stuff. Blind man, blind man bluff. Like seriously, man. Like sometimes, like I said, we can get familiar with the surroundings, right? We can get so familiar with our surroundings, and like I said, man, we end up like not stepping outside the box, not really doing anything outside of that, man. I'm gonna go this way, right? We're gonna take this, we gonna like what about this way around there, man? If you can, make that left and then you go a little bit further down, you still gonna get there. Might get there a little bit faster. Nah, man, I'm good, man. I know this street right here. Here come the speed bump. Let me slow down a little bit. Man, wait a minute. Let me make sure, I move out of the way right here. Oh man, let me stop right here, man. Get the trash can out the street. It's Thursday. Like sometimes we get so familiar with those surroundings, man. I said we just feel like we got everything figured out. If you feel like you got everything figured out, if you're around people that's like that, or what I'm saying, it's time to move on. It's time to redesign ourselves. Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with redesigning yourself. I mean, some great experiences. You have some, you might create some great experiences for yourself. Uh Let's go to Stacy. Stacy says, "I'm going through 5 cancers, 2 strokes, that had me my has left me paralyzed. People think I'm super strong and don't need compassion, just because I'm not an attention seeker." Well, Stacy, first off, you're going through all that straight up testimony material, uh, that you actually endured that and you're still here to talk about it. So that's a blessing within itself. Um, sometimes, when people go through those type of things and they see you coming through it, they look at you as a walking, talking testimony. And, you know, but once again, nothing wrong with being strong, but it's also okay for you to express yourself. See, I think sometimes, we get behind, we get in our feelings and we like nobody cares. But sometimes like you have to like express yourself, like let people know how you feel. I think the biggest battle that we have sometimes is within ourselves. Like we wonder what people think about us, and or better yet, we have a certain reservation about ourselves. Like, who am I to talk about, this situation? Who am I to bring this up? Like, man, it's not that big of a deal. If it's a big deal to you, it's a big deal, right? I mean, sometimes you got to express yourself because how can somebody know? And sometimes we find ourselves getting mad at people and we haven't even told them what's going on, right? Like, like they walking around, you mad, huffing and puffing, mad, Like, and that person, like, man, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with her? Like, sometimes we got to express ourselves. We got to let people know how we feel. Sometimes we got to let them know that we feel neglected at times. Like I'm strong, but, I want you to know how I feel about this situation. Like sometimes we got to express ourselves. Sometimes we got to let people know how we feel. I mean, people aren't mind readers, and that's something that we need to understand too. People aren't mind readers, man. I don't care how long a person been with somebody. I don't care how long y'all been friends. that don't mean that person just knows every single emotion about you or every particular thought that you having in your mind at every particular time. Sometimes they don't know. And I guess you feel like, man, we've been together this long, man, we've been friends this long, man. They don't know. So remember this, man. You should never get upset because you are trying to give this person the benefit of the doubt. You can't do that, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, if you talking to them and you don't feel like nothing changed, then maybe, you know what I'm saying, that's okay to be mad, but you can't get upset if you don't tell somebody how you feel and they don't interpret how you feel. Like, that's not fair. That's not fair, man. Just wanted to let y'all know that. But before we get up out of here, I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines. We're not talking football. Just want to let everybody know that again. No Saints comments or anything like that. But if you want to talk about a situation or you want to talk about this podcast, feel free to do so. I just put the link inside of the chat. And also, once again, if somebody if they can put that link to the Therapy Couch podcast channel in the chat for me, I would really appreciate that. I'm gonna try to see if I can do that in the meantime. But if you're listening on the State of the Saints podcast, just ask that you subscribe to the Therapy Couch podcast channel. So I try to put that link in there. But we got King Arthur in here, and then we're gonna go to Michael. But we're gonna start with King Arthur. King Arthur, how you doing, man?
Man, what's down with you, big dog?
I'm doing just fine. Yeah.
Hey, look. Remember the comment that you responded to me earlier? You was talking about how some people think success is a cure-all. Like, you're not supposed to have no problems once you hit a certain tax bracket. Man, you got all this money. You should be good. No, bro. Like, if anything, like you said, that exacerbates the situation. Like, when the more money you make, I don't care what nobody said, bro. The more money you make, the more you become more like who you already were. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I gave you $10 and you was willing to spend $8, if I give you $100, you're gonna be willing to spend 80. You hear me? So my thing is, Robin Williams, to me, perfect example of what you're talking about right now. Ain't nobody knew what that dude was dealing with, bro. And by perception, Robin Williams was looked at as one of the happiest people on this planet. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the way he did his movies and stuff like that, the way he acted, you could see his passion. And a lot of people wrote him off in terms of, quote unquote, being human, or that human element in terms of empathy and sympathy. And before you know it, come to find out, dude committed suicide, bro.
Right.
Like, it don't cost you nothing to be kind. You heard me? It don't cost you nothing. That one time that you decide to say something to a random stranger in the Walmart or something like that and make them smile, that could literally be what they needed to decide to go on the next day.
Yep.
You know, and vice versa. If you decide to say something mean or nasty, that could be the straw to break the camel's back. It don't cost you nothing to be nice to people, bro, or be kind to people. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not the nicest. I'm a very kind person, but I'm not always the nicest. But I always treat people with a level of respect, man. I like to see people do well. That's something that's big for me. So when I see people bullying other people, I'm quick to stand up for you, even if you don't have the will to stand up for yourself. Because you don't know what type of damage you're doing to a person's psyche, bro. So, and you got these keyboard warriors, keyboard courage. That's what I like to call it. People like to bully people because they don't think they'll ever see them and stuff like that. But you don't know how your comments has impacted that person's life. It don't cost you nothing to be kind to people.
Yeah. I agree with what you said, kid Arthur. One thing, you're talking about Robin Williams, but it's funny you said that. I was watching, the Dave Chappelle stand-up special. He had like one where I can't remember if it was Sticks and Stones or not, but he was talking about the guy that worked at CNN, the one that used to travel around the world, and he ate with all these famous people and stuff like that. And he was talking about how this man killed himself in a hotel in France, and everybody just felt like this man, like, I can't think of his name, and man, forgive me, I forgot his name, but he was talking about this dude. Everybody just thought this man had the most amazing job in the world, and he ended up killing himself. So you don't know what people be going through. And like I said, I was now this, you know what I'm saying, part I will mention, we were talking about on the Saints podcast, like how we look at these athletes as these larger than life individuals. Like we look at these guys like, oh, because they make this amount of money, you know what I'm saying? Why they need to be upset? Why they can't do this? You know what I'm saying? Why they can't control this? You know what I'm saying? They human just like us. So I just think that people just need to understand it. You know, like it just because you have a bunch of money or several cars or whatever like that, don't mean that you happy. And I don't feel like that equates to happiness. You have to find uh you know you have to find a level of happiness for yourself. You got to love yourself in spite of what you have. You know what I'm saying? What you got on, what kind of shoes you wearing. You got to find that. But thank you, Natasha. Anthony Bourdain, that was his name. Anthony
Anthony
Bourdain.
Gordon.
Yeah, but
But
you
you
got
know, you
anything?
got anything? Yeah, you're absolutely right, bro. And that goes back to what I was saying. Like people, they assume that once you reach a certain stature, that the human element is removed from you. It's not. If anything, it makes you even more vulnerable.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you become paranoid. Like now, your reputation, it take a lifetime to build, but take a few seconds to be destroyed. So
Yeah,
now you're looking over your shoulder at what could have been instead of looking forward at what can be. And when
yeah,
we get caught up like that, bro, that makes the whole human element skyrocket, man. It makes you a lot more sensitive.
mm,
So I'm thinking I'm getting all this adoration and validation from my fans and all that, but I know in the back of my mind that the minute I lose it, is I'm all that love is gonna be gone. All that pseudo love is gonna
mm,
be gone.
yeah,
And that's hard for a lot of people to deal with. And rather than deal with that, some people rather take their life, bro. And it's unfortunate.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the
But I ain't gonna hold
yeah.
you.
You go ahead, man.
I just said that's all I had to say on it, bro. Because I know what you overcame, bro. Man, I'm happy for you, bro. I'm happy for you, King, for real. And anybody
Yeah,
else struggling with that and they managed to deal with it and overcome it and tell their side of the story, bro. I'm proud of y'all. I really
yeah,
am.
yeah. Well, I appreciate that, man, and thank you so much for
I
sharing your
appreciate that,
story, man. I
man. And
appreciate it.
thank you so much for sharing your story, man. I appreciate it. Absolutely, bro. And especially TJ, you know where we come from, bro. Like people don't
Mm,
expect us to make it to 18, let alone be successful.
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, I
that's a
appreciate
good
it, King
point.
Arthur, man. Call back anytime.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. You know, the man.
Yeah, man, King Arthur, right there, man. I was having a little bit of some I guess some feedback. Yeah, but thank him, man, for being very candid and sharing the story, man. But once again, yeah, Anthony Bourdain was the guy that I was talking about. I mean, the guy traveled around the world, like ate at the nicest restaurants, chilled with some of the most influential people in the world, and this man's no longer with us. So that don't always equate to happiness, and it's always important to find some happiness within yourself. There's something that's outside of adulation of others. It's good to have that, and I'm pretty sure we all try to reach for that. You know what I'm saying? Like we all in ways care about what other people think about us. You know, in ways, not all everything, but we do have moments where if you ladies, if you dress up real nice, you know what I'm saying, and somebody, you know what I'm saying, tell you, like outside of the person that's probably in your house, like, man, you look nice. I don't mean no harm. You look nice though. Like you look nice. You dress up. Or a guy. You know what I'm saying. You got that nice suit on. You got that fresh haircut. You want to hear. You look good. That's okay, but you shouldn't be like looking for that. Like you shouldn't care that much about a person. Rather, you know what I'm saying. Like some people, they'll put a picture online and they don't get a certain likes, they deleting it. Like it shouldn't that matter that much to you like that. Barbara, thank you very much for the $1. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. We're gonna go to Michael. Michael, how you doing, man?
Hi. So, yeah, what you're saying, it's like, as much as we don't like to talk about it, it needs to be addressed. This stuff is an everyday thing. Shut up, phone. This thing's an everyday thing. So, yeah, wait, hold on, let me just see you texted me.
Okay, I'm gonna put
Oh,
you
it's
on hold.
my.
I'm gonna put you on hold for a second, Mike, while you handling that business. We gonna go to I'm gonna get back to you, Mike. Just hold on real quick. I'm gonna go to Nikayla. Nikayla, how you doing?
Hey,
How you doing? All right, what you got for us? All right. I don't know exactly what's going on with that. I don't know if we're in the closet, we need some help, or you know what I'm saying? Like maybe I need to call the authorities. But but we gonna go to Mike. We're gonna get back into it, man. Mike, how you doing, man?
Yeah, sorry, it was just my dad. He was just saying what I was doing, and I basically explained to him. But yeah, basically, uh, you know, sometimes we want to say something that we don't mean to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like I hate my, like say I hate my life, say that this ain't like say this is worth it because this world is so stupid, so I should leave this world. We all say that, like you like whoever's watching this, you in the background, whoever's watching this, like you can admit that you're not perfect. Like nobody on this earth, whether you have hands, no hands, whether you have legs or no legs, you are not perfect. Hi, Mom. And as I was saying, so, um, yeah, man. Like, since my, grandma died last month, I've been going through, alright? Man, I've
Mm-hmm.
been, I wouldn't say that I'm, like, depressed, but, man, I'm getting there, man, where I cannot handle certain things, man.
Yeah.
Especially because she's the closest, person in my life. But, as I was saying, man, so people who, who say those things, like, we all know they don't mean it, dude. Like, do you really wanna, like, when you have all this room that you can see, you have so much things you can explore, you got so much things that you can do, like, dude, if you're dead, are you gonna, that, say, if you're dead, you're not gonna be able to watch, a game, you're not gonna be able to you're not gonna be able to explore life, you're not going to. You're not going to be able to, watch any sports, you're not gonna be able to do anything.
All right.
If you wanna die, that's on you. Like, it's not worth it. So people who affect that day in and day out, they are they can be the nicest or prettiest people on the outside, but in deep down they're one of the meanest and ugliest persons on this planet, man. Because you don't have to be mean, man. That's what God put you on this earth for a reason,
Yeah.
and the reason apparently, dude, it's not so you can just take away lives, man. Why are you trying to destroy something that He created, man? Like, basically, you're basically doing what you were not supposed to do, man. Like, you're not supposed to be mean to people, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's just not that. That's not cool, man. And personally, for me, I've been getting bullied since I was kindergarten, since kindergarten,
Mm.
and I never let that stop me, man.
Yeah.
And yes, people who are like, how are you getting bullied in kindergarten, man? They barely can. They probably haven't been walking for more than 3 years.
Mm.
Well, guess what? Some people in kindergarten are still evil, man. Like, there's this one girl who kept on calling me moron over and over and over, and
Mm.
dude, she kept on annoying me. But yeah, basically, whether it was first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, and beyond, man, I can. I've never been where, when you were saying that with the moonlight, I've never got to that stage. Obviously, sometimes I would say weird stuff, I would say that I hate my life, stuff like that. But, one thing that you can never take away from this is if you would have gone through with that, we wouldn't be talking right now.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't be sitting there in front of your mic talking right now. None of this thing would be a reality.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
wouldn't be.
Well, Mike, let me tell you this, man. I talked about this on the first episode about the fact that I got bullied when I was, kindergarten, first grade. So that's pretty, that's happened in my life. But as far
Yeah.
as with your grandmother, I completely understand how, how that can affect you. But I think you're doing a really good job at doing something that really is a help to a lot of people. Like, you talk about, the team, you know what I'm saying? You like with the podcast and stuff like that, you get, here, you very knowledgeable of that. That is something that you can really focus on, you know what I'm saying, to get away, you know what I'm saying, from those thoughts. Because sometimes those thoughts when you're alone and you're not doing anything can affect you. You know what I'm saying? And it may not be, you know what I'm saying, in a positive way. And I'm glad that you haven't had, you know what I'm saying, thoughts like that. And I don't want you to have, you know what I'm saying, thoughts that are negative. Take that the feelings that you have and all of that stuff that's bottled down in you and put it into like something that you're doing, like your work. And you know what I'm saying, and talking about the Saints and getting that information that's out there. Because when you talked the last time, you know what I'm saying, we did the sports podcast, you had a lot of people that, you know what I'm saying, that really like what you were doing, they like what you were saying. And that right there, you know what I'm saying, is something that you can really put, you know what I'm saying, a lot of your work and a lot of that passion that you have into in order to build. And even if it's not on a podcast, then there's several other things as well that you can find. But don't ever just find yourself like to by yourself to a point where you have all these thoughts and allowing the things around you to affect you. Make those, like, turn those negatives that you feel into something that's positive, something that you can give to the world. That's the advice I would give to you on that, man.
Exactly, man. Like, yeah, when I was on here last night, I've seen a few comments. People saying that I should compete with Stephen A. Smith, and believe me, if I ever get to be a sports analysis, I'm destroying his toes. But yeah, basically, um, yeah. So, yeah, man, like that stuff is not cool. Like, dude, like for example, a couple months ago, remember that shooting that happened down at that school in Texas?
Yeah,
They took away so much soon to be good lives.
yeah,
That one
that's true,
person
man.
ruined his life and the kid's life.
Yeah,
And the kids' lives, man. So that stuff is not cool, man. Like
no,
you,
definitely not.
like even just smile at the person. It won't harm you. Like if you smile at the person, will it kill you? No. In
Hmm.
fact, smiling at the person is the least you can do.
Yeah,
Like, dude, like, man, even if it's just write on a card or something, basically saying
yep,
how much you matter. Like, dude, like, you don't have to, like, say, hi, I like your gown. Like, you don't have to do all that. All you just gotta do is the simplest things, man. And
yep,
I'm sure they will appreciate it, man. Like, there's been countless times that I've seen people, freaking, bully people. And I know people who, if you try to jump in, they're gonna be like, mind your own business.
yeah,
No! I'm not gonna mind my own business, man. You shouldn't even be doing this. Maybe I'll
yeah,
mind my own business if you freaking mind your own. Or if you stop
yeah. You got to speak
destroying
up. Yeah, you got to
like,
speak
dude.
up sometimes. You got to speak
Exactly.
up, and you shouldn't feel bad about that, man. You shouldn't
Exactly,
feel
man.
bad about it. But look, I'm proud of you. I'm happy that they're just doing something that you love. Like I said, you got a nice little following going. A lot of people that are supporting you and liking what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and just focus on that. Just focus on trying to create your content, and also, man, be able to give content to some of the people like myself and other shows that are out there that want to hear what you got to say. That
Yep.
that's what you should be focusing on. And I hope everything work out for you, Mike. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you take it easy, man. Thank you for calling in.
Peace out.
All right, Pete. Yeah. Yeah, man. Shouts out to Mike, man. Yeah. Um, we can learn a lot from what Mike just said. Mike, I mean, sometimes you have to say something, and there are parts of our life where we feel like our lowest, or we may feel sad, or we may feel down. But try to find something that can occupy that. Also, if you are feeling sad, it's okay to express yourself. It's okay to reflect about it, but don't dwell on it to a point where it just completely consumes you, because that is what the problem is. Because a lot of people, the issue is they don't address those issues. They don't, like, they pretend as if those issues don't exist. Address them, what I'm saying, do the proper work in order for you to be able to build yourself up, but also be able to do something that can occupy that empty feeling that you may have because of a moment or a situation. Find find that thing that you need in order for you to be able to get up in the morning and you know what I'm saying, go and keep pressing forward. You know, never, you know what I'm saying, allow those negative thoughts to consume you, and definitely don't try to carry them out. That's right, and be constantly aware of the content of your own mind. Yeah, uh, be aware of it. Know the things that you can take and can't take, and not don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to get help. You know, ain't nothing wrong with that. Like people, make it seem like therapy is like the worst thing in the world or something like that. Man, sometimes you need that unbiased opinion of a person, who don't know you from a can of paint. Because sometimes, man, you can go to your family members and they find themselves, because they know you, they probably can tell you what you need to say. I mean, what you need to hear to get you, talk you off the ledge, so to speak. Or, what I'm saying, sometimes they might end up, like having this level of bias about it, you know. But got a special, real special guest here on the show right here. This is my actual real life loving mom. My mom just chimed in. Hey, ma, how you doing?
Hi, baby. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for calling in. I think like the first time you ever been on the platform. You're always in the comments. But yeah, everybody, this is my mom right here, the woman that
Hi,
raised me.
everybody.
Y'all see where I get all my good looks from.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, ma, thank you for being here. What you got for us? What you got for us?
What I wanted to say to everyone, I've been listening and, I've been watching since the first episode.
Uh-huh.
What I want everybody to know is nothing that you've been through in life is wasted.
Mm-hmm.
I am 58 years old and I've been through some things.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through some heart-wrenching situations. I've been to the point what Timmy was talking about, looking at the moon, the whole thing. But nothing in your life is ever going to be wasted. A lot of the things you're going to go through, you're going to find as you go through life, it's not for you that you're going through them. You're actually going through them for other people. And what you all were talking about earlier about success and money, often when you're poor, or and you're trying to have that come up, like you young people say, you work hard. Was that the right word? I don't want to embarrass you.
Hey, nah,
okay,
you talking?
To come up and you strive so hard to get to success, and you push through and you go through so many things. Some things that may be traumatic. Some people that you actually may have to leave behind that you wanted to bring with you. Because
Right.
I'm going to tell you, everybody that go with you can't stay with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody's not going to understand your vision. They don't have to understand your vision. You have to understand your vision and you have to stay with it. But like I was saying, when you on your come up and you're pushing through and you pushing so long and so hard, when you finally make it and you achieve your goal, the reason why I think people get so depressed is because when you get there, you don't have anybody true blue to share it with. It can be a lonely place.
No.
Because you know the places that you came through and the people that you may have had to deal with along the way, and they didn't have your back. So now that you're here with all this success, who are you going to trust? When you're in your penthouse and you're driving your nice car and you're taking all these vacations, who's with you because they're really with you and not just with you because they want to ride your coattail of your success? All your hard work, your blood, your tears that you've pressed through and you've reached success. We as a people don't know how to be alone. Every time you're alone, everybody that you see that's by themselves is not lonely. And I'm gonna tell you something else. You have to love yourself. You spend more time with yourself than anybody else in the world. And if you're bored with yourself, you better do something. Because if you think you're boring, what you think the world gonna think?
Yeah.
You have to look at yourself and say, I'm the stuff. Let me tell you something about bullying, the young man that was just on there.
Yeah, Mike.
You see this gorgeous face? You can't tell this 58-year-old diva that she's not a dime. You understand what I'm saying? This beautiful melanin skin, come on now. And I'm just talking, and that's me talking. But when I was in the elementary school, oh, look at her moon head. She got a moon head. But you know what? I never cried over it. Because I didn't understand what they were talking about. I saw the moon and it didn't look nothing like this head. But I started reading beauty magazines. And one day I seen something that said all these models had oval shaped faces. So when I went to school and the little boy said, you have a moon head. I said, no, you're ignorant. I have an oval shaped face. You see, after that, you couldn't tell me nothing. I
And
was
turn the
already
negative to a
smart.
positive. I'm sorry. I think a signal went out. Ma, you
I
still
was
there?
already smart. I was already beautiful, and I knew this, and I kept that. And that's I'm smart. I'm beautiful. No matter what I went through, I'm smart. I'm beautiful. Timmy will tell you later on as you all go through. He may tell you some of the things, but I've been through some stuff. But I
Right.
never let it break me because on the inside I knew who I was. I'm talking to somebody out there. Don't
I think your signal going out a little bit, Ma. Think His signal going out just a little bit.
no,
First,
that was your brother calling. I'm gonna call
okay.
him back. But but don't let anybody define who you are.
Right.
You have to know who you are on.
I'm. Hey, Mama. Hey,
But
go
that's
ahead.
all I
Go ahead.
have.
I'm about to
That's
say,
all
go
I
ahead and
have
answer
to
that.
say.
Go ahead and answer that phone call. And but
Okay,
you got a lot of people. A lot of people in the chat. They're heeding your
okay.
wisdom and stuff like that. But
Go
like,
ahead,
just
go
feel
ahead. I
free.
love y'all. We old people can be long winded. I am so sorry.
Uh,
Okay, and I'll talk to you later, baby. I love you.
I
Bye
love
bye.
you too, man. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, shouts out to my mom, man. And my brother kept calling and the phone just kept, going out. So I wanted to make sure that everybody, get a chance to listen to what she's saying. I mean, she talking about embarrassing, you ain't embarrass me. Hey, that's your thoughts. Like say what you want to say. I mean, shoot. But yeah, man, shouts out to my mom. I mean, y'all know, man, my mom normally she would be in the chat like doing other podcasts. Uh, but that's the first time I think she ever has actually called in for a show. Mama Jones bringing the wisdom to us. Yeah, man, she dropped some dimes right there. Yeah, she can drop some gems now. She definitely can do that. But yeah, I mean, everybody have like this level of adversity that they go through. I mean, some people it may be small, some people it may be large, but don't let anybody define you. You know what I'm saying? And definitely don't spend so much time beating yourself up. Like enjoy like every parts of yourself, even like some of the negative parts, because even like even if they're negative, you know that they are, so you know that you have an opportunity to fix them. Spit that knowledge, Mama TJ. You are not over your season. Let's see. Don't be sorry, Mama Jones. We needed that. Nah, look, I think she felt like my mom. Sometimes she feel like when she gets in the chat or she like chimes in, she feels like, oh, I don't want to embarrass you. Like, you're embarrassing me. You say what you want to say, as well as the lazy lizard who's having a hard time trying to keep that shape shifting at 100%. I don't know exactly what's going on, man. What we talking about, man? What we talking about? When I started fighting back and beating up my bullies, uh, they say they over bullying stopped. But yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. Like it's almost like it's almost like 8 Mile. Like I'm pretty sure y'all. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen 8 Mile. It was almost like at the end of the movie, when Eminem, what I'm saying, flipped the script on Anthony Mackie, right? What I'm saying? He ended up like start bashing himself. So he ended up like making this whole rap. And then all of a sudden, like, what can you possibly do to me that I ain't willing to do myself? What can you possibly say about me that I can't say about myself? Like, I acknowledge this. So what more can you bring to the table? I'm gonna say all this stuff about me, then I'm gonna talk about you. Now tell somebody something they don't know about me. He lived his truth. You know what I'm saying? Like once you live your truth, nobody can use that against you. If you know you the stuff, if you know you confident, if you know that you're destined for greatness, if you know that you grinding, hard to try to build something, like how can somebody take that away from you seriously? They can't. They can't tear you down. If you have this knowledge of self, how can somebody tear you down? They can't. TJ, the problem with seeking validation in others is that you'll always have to return to them for it. Exactly. That's what I said. That's why you have to have this level of love for yourself. You have to have levels of love for yourself because You know, there are going to be some rainy days, and you're going to need that confidence. Especially nothing affects your confidence more than when you set out to do something and it may not turn out the way that you want it to be because you had these expectations like, man, I'm gonna do this, man, I'm gonna do that. Everybody gonna come and show up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna live stream this thing. We gonna have thousands of comments. But what happens if that don't happen that way? Are you gonna beat yourself up and feel like you're not good enough? Or do you think that there's a setback for a major comeback? I prefer the latter, right? You know, like everything that bad happened in your life isn't a death sentence. You know, sometimes that is a pit stop in the road. Once again, it's a pit stop in the road for you getting to where you need to be. And then you might find yourself like what Josh was talking about, understanding yourself, understanding the roads that you travel, right? And once you have that level of knowledge and you know those roads, you're able to try to go on another street and take another road, you know? My favorite movie of all time, before we get up out of here, I want to tell y'all a story. My favorite movie of all time is Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump, there was a scene where Jeannie came and saw him, and he thought that she was going to end up staying. But she ended up like leaving in the middle of the night, and he sat on that porch, he got up and he ran for 3 years, right? And he talked about how he ran to a certain spot, he got to the end, turned around and kept going, right? And he kept on going. And I guess he found himself, I'd say around Arizona or something like that. And then he just stopped and like, you okay? I think it's time for me to go home. I think that's a powerful scene because, he could have stopped, when he got to the end of a certain point, but he didn't. He kept going. And when he became satisfied with where he was at, he decided to go back to where he started, because he traveled all the roads. He'd been everywhere he wanted to go. He's seen what he needed to see. He's seen the scenery, now it's time for me to go back because I realize what I need to do, who I really am. Sometimes, we need to take these roads sometime and travel them. And it's okay to take the long way. And it's okay for us to, see what else is out there in order for us to find what we're actually looking for, to find this level of peace in our life. So that was a powerful scene to me, and that's one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie of all time. We'll end with a few comments. Sometimes means not now. Yeah. Sometimes it may not be the right situation. Sometimes it may not be the right situation. What's that in the TJ? I'm at work peeping for a second to show my dog some support as always. Well, thank you, Damien. I appreciate that, man. I know you always grinding, man. Keep up the hard work. Know you're doing your thing, and I appreciate the love, man. The fork in the road, exactly. I think I already read that, Damien, but thank you, man. Thank you for your support. And thank you for everybody that chimed in on this episode. Thank you for those that called in. I appreciate that. Thank you for being very candid, sharing your stories, sharing your thoughts and feelings. That's what this show is all about. This is an interactive show, similar to shows that I do as well. But we're also just going to be talking about, some of the things that's going on in your life, and just no matter what you go through in life, no matter what the situation is, always find some time and find something that's yours, right? So and don't let anybody take that away from you. Don't look for validation, like from people, and lose yourself at the expense trying to be something that you feel like others need to be. Be what you want to be and love every minute of it. But this has been the Therapy Couch Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. Be sure that you subscribe to the channel, youtube.com, search Therapy Couch Podcast. Also, you can check out episodes on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts is available. For those that may have not checked out the beginning of it, you can be able to check out in audio form on those platforms. And for those that have not already, I just ask that you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. This is a weekly podcast. We're going to be talking once a week, breaking down the issues that we may be facing, and also just talking about them. And as time goes on, I plan on having guests on the show. I plan on having a fellow Radio Baha'i host on the show. I want to say next week. Tori, her show comes on like after mine comes on. She's been with Radio Baha'i for about a decade plus, but she also does a podcast, and just wanted to get her on here to talk about some of the things that she has endured in her life, and also be able to chop it up and read some of your comments as well. So that's who's going to be on the show next week. Gonna get Tori on here, and we'll get some more individuals on here like therapists and counselors and stuff like that, where we can really break down some of these things, man. We're also going to just be talking about all type of things. Nothing is off limits here. As much, there's going to be a podcast where you can share, and this is going to be a safe space. But thank you all so much. Really do appreciate it. Hope everybody is happy, and I hope everybody stays healthy. Peace.